Nicky Devlin, Ayr United club captain, and you're watching Quill 18.
Ahoo!
Excellent. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I appreciate it.
Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to the Monday stream where I had a craving. If those of you who follow me on Twitter know I've had this craving for well over a week now of needing to play some Football Manager, and today it just overwhelmed me. I'm like, I'm not doing anything else. Everything else can take a back seat. We're playing some Football Manager. We are revisiting Ayr United. It's been way too long. Our big franchise, our big campaign with Ayr United was something like Football Manager 2017, I think. And here we are with Football Manager 2020, which I've actually barely played. I only, a couple hours in, basically. I'm like, this is wrong. This is wrong. And yeah, that was Nicky Devlin, who was the captain of Ayr United until, I think, last year. He got transferred to another team. But he was the captain of Ayr United. And sometime when I was in Ayr at some point, I went to Somerset Park where Ayr United play, and I happened to be talking to the person in the gift shop, while buying various swags about this whole Football Manager thing, and they're like, hold on a second, and they got the basically the PR manager. I think it's called the commercial manager, but the PR manager to come in. We arranged the thing. I got a private tour of the whole arena. I got to meet some of the folks. Newspapers came by. It was kind of epic. It was kind of one of these dream come trues, right? It's so weird because that had literally been the first time I'd ever gone to the actual park to actually see them play. And since these matches aren't televised, I'd literally never seen the team actually play as real people, only as digital people. So it was a pretty big deal for me. I thought it was awesome. He actually plays for Walsall for a couple of seasons, 2017. I don't know what Walsall is. I saw someone say that about on Twitter, but I actually don't know what it is. Still an honest man! Great username. Little Alan Force is back, baby. The hype is real, indeed. A lot of the team has changed since the last time we did one of these franchises. A few are still there. They're still doing it as a goalkeeper. Andy Geegan is still in there. And yes, little Alan Forrest, only 3 apples tall, but he is still on the team, and he is still one of the sort of top-end dudes on there, so I'm really excited. Walsall's in Staffordshire, West Midlands. I don't know any of those words. I don't know where Staffordshire are. I don't know where the West Midlands are. You should acquire Nicky back. Maybe we can do that as a bit of a goal or something like that. Why are you such a fan of Ayr? Well, because I'm a fan of the town of Ayr, the city of Ayr. Because 8 or 9 years ago at this point, Essentia did a semester at college in Ayr as an exchange program thing, and we fell in love with the town. And some time ago, I don't think it was the World Cup. It was the Euro one, right? The every 4-year Euro. I don't remember because there's 2 things that are sort of called Euro, and it's confusing. But one of those, we decided to just randomly sort of watch some of it sort of as a shared stream. Like, I was watching here, but we were doing a stream so that we could talk at the same time. And it was a really shit-ass boring game. And Twitch chat convinced me that I should just download Football Manager and try to play it, and chat would teach me how to play it. And that started everything. And I had to pick a team. And I was like, I don't know any foot soccer ball teams. And on a whim, I said, I wonder if Ayr's got a team. Oh, they do have a team. And that was that. Done. Fini. So here we are, over here. Doherty's now captain of Ayr United. Okay, although he is currently, he's going to be transferred. So I loaded up, I did a little test game just to make sure everything was okay. You can see here like my little Ayr test over there, but haven't really played. But one of the things I noticed, when you start and you are on the newest database update, Doherty is being shipped off. So we're going to have to make a bit of a decision here. We're going to start a brand new career. That's going to be fine. Of course we're going to play as Ayr United. One of the questions is, what database are we going to use? Are we going to use the one that originally shipped with the 2020 release, or are we going to use one of the updates? Because it's possible that it's only as a result of these updates that, some of these transfers and things are going to be in place. So that's one thing. Yeah, updated for sure. Oh, we'll play the updated. I think that's probably fine. And what I want to do here in the advanced setup, so I'm calling this like absolute Brexit. we are only going to include... Okay, good. It saved the settings. We are only going to include Scotland, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland as active nations in the game. At least to start. At least to start. Because it's really gonna limit the pool of regions, and you can't just go off to Brazil to pick up some 16-year-old wonder kid or anything like that. None of that can happen. Now, it's whiskey and chocolate. I don't think that's gonna affect us directly immediately that much, because we really don't have the scouting range for it, and even as 16, the game like knows if someone's going to be amazing and they want like millions of pounds and stuff like that, which is still like an amazing discount if you're playing a high-end team. But for us, we've got 2 pence to rub together, and that's about it. We are really going to have to be on a fairly strict budget, so it's not going to be that much of a thing, but it'll be interesting as we grow. And yeah, homegrown stuff and things like that's going to become more of a stuff. So we're going to see what it is, but basically we're going to have assumed that the hardest of the hard Brexits have come in, and we're basically cut off from the rest of the world. Is kind of how we're going to play this. As an upside, it means the processing is going to be really, really, really fast, because it doesn't have to simulate games all over the place. And you can always add the other leagues back in afterwards, so it's going to be fine. Thank you very much, Harold Hardrod, for the... Hard Raid, maybe, for the contribution to the Whiskey and Chocolate Fund. That's much appreciated. Hey, man, been watching you on and off since about 2010. Finally a chance to catch your stream. Here's a little thank you for the hundreds of hours of entertainment. Well, thank you very much, Harold. That is much appreciated. And Cool Man Chaos. Honeybee Inn sounds like to sell mead with berry mix in. Honeybee Inn, what? Someone talking about that somewhere else? I don't know. Haku coming in now. Is there a January 2020 update that includes the COVID event? Hopefully not. That'll be interesting. I wonder, like, when they come out with FM 2021, like, is that going to change things, or how are they going to work that? Because the leagues are going to be kind of weird, right? Right? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Puck, no and no, but that sounds kind of interesting. Huh. That sounds very interesting. Okay, I'm just going to make sure we include everyone up to, like, the lowest playable league in each one of these nations. Yeah, there we go. And Wales, yes. All right, that's in there. That seems okay. I'm also going to disable the first transfer activity, or first transfer window, so that we can't make any substitution. We are going to be playing with who the game gives us right from the start, and having to make do with just that. There's a few different reasons. One, it's kind of an interesting challenge, and two, it means that we don't spend like 2 hours at the start of the stream just doing scouting and looking for new players. We have to use the players we've got and try to do what we can. We'll see how it goes. So we are going to start in the earliest preseason, so that we have a little bit more time to do some practice and whatever, but that's going to be okay. Done and done. Today I'm having a virgin gin and tonic. So I'm having tonic. It's more whiskey and chocolate. Another window. Oh, it's Cool Man again! Think of start of Elder Scrolls V Skyrim and a cart ride. It's from there. Oh! Honeybee Inn. I don't remember that line from the start of Skyrim. I remember, you're waking up and it's like, oh, it must have caught you crossing the border or something like that, right? Going through the loan marker is a good idea. I agree. We actually are going to start with quite a few loaned characters at the start here. It wasn't him being from Final Fantasy VII. Ah! Okay. That might make sense why it doesn't ring a bell to me. Dun, dun, dun. I've never played Final Fantasy VII. Alright, so we got ourselves configurated over here. I'm still 40 years old for a whole 3 more days. 3 more days, and then I level up again, you guys. We're going to use this. Now, okay, I set my nationality here as Scottish. I don't know if it matters for us. I know with your coaches and your scouts and things like that, depending on their nationality and whatever, it gives them starting knowledge in a certain area so that they already have info on certain players and things like that. I don't know if it matters for us, but I'm going to set myself over here. Maybe, you know what, I want to sneak in before Brexit, so I got myself like a fake birth certificate to pretend that I'm Scottish. You can tell this is 100% genuine accent, Scottish accent over here. You'll see that. I know languages are a thing. What languages your characters speak has various things with adaptability and whatever, so I don't know. But, all right, we'll go with this. We'll go with that. Managerial style, so or the points. So this is the sort of correct amount of skill points for the league we're in. I mean, we could buff this and be like, listen, we're like a turbo good manager, you know, that Ayr somehow snag because we're like, you know, super awesome and whatever. We can reset some of these points. We can rebalance things. It's probably not a bad idea to consider what kind of skill points our character might have. Well, actually, okay, hold on. If we use motivator as the default over here, it's kind of interesting. You have a low level of discipline, so people are going to come and whine at you, but you have half decent management and management, which means when they do whine at you, you can likely convince them to switch up. I think what we're going to do is we're going to low adaptability because we know we're not really going to be hired in other countries or anything like that. The ND Coda, thank you very much for the 18. What a beautiful number. Honningbrew Meadery, I think. In any case, Football Manager, hype! Very hype. Very hype. Canadians close enough for us Scots, that's awesome. Determination, discipline, motivating, most important. I mean, I agree. Now, low discipline, again, they'll come and whine a fair bit. If you have high management, you can kind of compensate for it, because they come and whine, but then you can tell them to just shut the hell up. Determination is nice to get changes made from the, from the board. You know, the owners of the team. That's pretty good. Player knowledge and youngster knowledge. I think this is used in coordination with your scouts to see how well you can learn. You can get to know people. I think we are going to go like more mental. In fact, heavily mental, I think, is what we're going to do. If we go and let me drop this again, and we can bring down some of these knowledges for a second here. If we like maxed out motivating, that means our speeches will always be like the best, which might be kind of nice, you know. But maybe what we'll do is we'll go like 15 and 15. It might be handy to boost our player knowledge a little bit, you know, especially youngsters. Like, I think what we'll do is quite a bit. We'll try to recruit some younger people and then try to level them up. I don't know. I guess we could go like 10 and 10 over here and not worry too much. Not worry too much about things. And then for the coaching, what I tend to like to do is have a couple of levels that are a little bit higher so that we are we can help out with some of the training. Like, do something like just bring up attacking a whole bunch. Maybe I won't max it out because it might be a little cheesy. Like, all right, we're not good at goalkeeping, but we'll get some attacking. I don't know if the fitness matters at all, but there we go. And we'll get some tactical thrown in. So we might be able to do a little bit of something. I don't know. You know what? Let's. I've always set the goalkeeper training to 1. You hire specialists. Yeah. And I agree. Same thing actually with fitness, because I'm going to get a specific fitness coach, a specific goalkeeper coach. But if I do something like this, I might be able to take over some of the training for, like, the attack and tactics. And we'll do something like this. I don't know, like, we're not going to be working with the, like, under-18s team too much. We may have some younger people, but maybe what I'll do is I'll just drop that down, and it'll kind of feel good if we bring up, I don't know, the mental and the technical and the tactical and the attacking. Done. Fitness donut in my mouth. Nice, Orcus. Alright. Good enough. Kind of cheesy. Maybe not overly cheesy, but a little bit cheesy. It's going to be fine. Better specialize in the coaching attributes, I reckon. Does mental attributes mean attributes are crazy good? There we go. So we get some news articles. Ayr have today confirmed the appointment of Quill 18 as the club's new manager. Eyebrows have been raised in the world of football at the appointment of the 40-year-old who has recently spent time away from club football. And he is sure to face plenty of questions when he faces the media for the first time at Somerset Park. 18 has put pen to paper on a 2-year deal worth £1.6 thousand pounds per week. He replaces the previous manager, Mark Kerr. So we get some club history over here. Overall, we're predicted to come in 6th in our league, so, you know, distinctly kind of mid-table. We don't have a director of football, which is probably fine. There's some convenience that you can get from a director of football for some neat things, but might be an expense that we don't want to bear. Our assistant manager is Michael McArdle. That is definitely different from previous seasons. And yeah, we've got our park over here. It was built in 1888. Currently has a capacity of about 10,000 people. We'll probably sell 1, maybe if we're lucky, 2,000 season tickets. And it's very unlikely to get some sellout crowds unless we really make it to the sort of playoffs right at the end. We'll see. And yeah, our training facilities are kind of poop. Maybe that's something we can improve later on. We've got an overview of our current squad. We're going to take a look at that in another screen. And then this is new. This is new in Football Manager 2020. This sort of club vision, club culture kind of screen here with the 5-year plan. So our club culture is to strive to make progress on and off the pitch. So that's pretty generic. And yeah, so we need to work within the wage budget. That's required. Okay, sure. And then by the end of the season, our board wants us to end mid-table. And in terms of the Scottish Cup, reach the 5th round, and the Betfred Cup, be competitive. Just don't embarrass yourself. And that's desired but not required. But yeah, so we've got a couple of requirements here to try to avoid being fired. And the next season, they want a top half finish. And then 2 seasons from now, they're hoping we can reach the playoffs. So that's the sort of timeline that our management have kind of set forward. So we'll see what we can do. And I think, was it at the bottom, they want to be promoted? Or challenge. In 5 years, they want to challenge for promotion, I think it says. We'll go ahead, we'll schedule the press conference, a friendly, and some advice from the backroom staff. That's all going to be okay. And yeah, so this is going to be the LP Ayr Hard Brexit 01. Sounds good to me. I don't usually enjoy sports ball games and you go quill and watch. Oh, casual, if you've never seen this, yeah, this is quite compelling. And it is a management game, so we're not twiddly-fiddling the actual players. We're sitting back and yelling at these idiots whenever they do something wrong. Sometimes we yell at them when they do something right, too, because one of the things these players in this, they don't really take to praise very well. Like, they can have a game where they've, like, scored 3 goals, and afterwards, like, dude, you did a really good job. And they're like, did I know? And you're like, what the hell? What's your problem, man? It will help with our stats. The fact that we have such good management should make them a little less poopy when it comes to that. It's much easier if they do something bad and you yell at them. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. But for some reason, it's really hard to praise them, and I don't know why. Just never try to do it for some reason. Yeah, exactly. You bring light and says never praise them. We had some players in the last year of contract, but they're not about to wear off. So we're starting here in summer of 2019, right? Because Football Manager 2020, it's the 19/20 season. So we're currently in 2019. Players in their last year of contract, well, they are all 1 year away. So we have until next summer to re-sign some of these contracts. And we'll want to take a look at some of them, but I think we can wait on this, I think. Yes, we'll take a look at the tactics in a second. Club vision, this is one we were just talking about. I think we're okay. I think we can just accept this. I don't think we need to make any explicit changes. If we come out ahead of this, hey, great. I mean, if we were 100% sure we could, like, come out near the top this season instead of just mid-table, we could change this and maybe, use that as a way to get a little bit more money, but I think we can just accept these as is, and that's going to be okay. Mid-season prep, okay, that's fine. We've got a couple of injuries. Oof. Okay. And then some advice from our players. Okay, let's come back to this in a scooch. Let's take a look at our squad and what the situation is. Now, we don't have a whole lot of people here. If we take a look at our squad... No, I was going to say, there's a really weird sort of dragging thing where it... There you go. It drags the wrong column sometimes when you do this. And I know the font's a little small. I don't know... you can embiggen things a little bit. I don't know. Should I try? Sometimes it messes things up. I think there's an option somewhere in here for scaling the UI. How come this preferences? How come there's not more? Oh, there's scale right there. How come there's not more options though? Okay, we'll embiggen as much as we can. We'll see what happens. Maybe there's another option in there outside of preferences. I mean, this is fine. This is what we're looking for, but that was pretty bare. Okay, so this is embiggened whiskey and chocolate from Oslot. Hey, thank you, Oslot. Thanks for your YouTube series. I'm currently continuing my Predator Challenge save game from 2017. In 2023, I finished 5th in the constructors of the World Motorsport Championship. Congratulations, and yeah, I'm really loving the Football Manager, or the Motorsport Manager stuff. Excellent. All right, so I'm embiggened. I'm not currently blocking anything with my cam, so that's probably better. Okay, so is there a team? Although I guess what I have to do now is sort of expando on some of these things so that we can see some of these. So there's our team. We could sort by value, and this is a rough calculation of how good various players are, how desirable they might be to different clubs. The names in blue here, these are people who are loaned to us. So Stephen Kelly over here, belongs to the Rangers, but he's being loaned to us because he's younger. He's still being developed. They don't have room to play him regularly, but they want to make sure he's got lots of practice. So he is playing for us for now. 19, great ability. He's actually probably going to be right now one of our tops over here on our team. The downside is that we don't get to, we can't keep him around. We can't sell him for huge money, that sort of thing. We've also got Melee and Drinnen, who are on loan. Duhin, who's been on loan with us for a long time, because if we check his history, because he's been on our team. I was gonna say for a while, so he's been playing for Ayr since 2018, according to this. So we're keeping him around for a bit, and that's okay. Then we've also got Tiffany here. Tiffany on loan from Livingston, and he is going to be one of our strikers or attacking midfielders, one of our wingers over here. So another one on loan. Current abilities not currently rated that strong, huge potential ability, but again, so these are people that we have temporarily. Of our regular crew, it is worth noting that we do have 2 injuries. Murdoch and Moore are both currently injured. Moore's had a huge... Hey, Grant, thank you very much. I think Football Manager will have some of that. Nice. Craig Moore has had serious issues with Ayr United. Because last year, or the year before, I'm trying to remember the things, he got like a concussion like right at the start, or maybe even like pre-season, and he was gone for like 3 or 4 months. And it was this really shitty time for Ayr because they had like basically no strikers. They couldn't really find someone to trade or loan. The Ayr United had a really, really bad season because they could just not get any strikers. And then the following season, things were awesome. Craig Moore was back. In fact, he had been on loan for the team, and they had actually signed him as a proper person on the team. He got over, the concussion and injuries and things like that. They picked up a couple more decent strikers, and Ayr had a great season. But now we're back with Craig Moore on injury, torn knee ligament, expected to be out for 3-4 months. Oof. Andy Murdoch over here, damaged cruciate ligaments, expected to be out for 15 to 16 months. So basically, they don't exist. That sucks. And then Ross Doherty here in I guess in real life, they are trading him away. Next summer, we have him for this full season. But next summer, he's going and joining Partick Thistle. And that hurts because he's been on Ayr United for quite some time here. You can see he's been playing for Ayr since 2015. He's got quite a bit of a history as well, just generally in Scottish football. So, 15, 16 months is brutal. I know. I mean, if this happened to us mid-game, this would be oh, guys, I don't know. Football Manager just crashed. I don't know how that happened. Oh, no, we'll have to revert to our last save. Oh, woe was us. But I guess we can't do that here. Now, if we sort ourselves based on positions, we can sort of see our situation here. So again, we just ignore Craig Moore. It's like he doesn't exist. He'll potentially rejoin us halfway through the season, but effectively he doesn't exist. So we have 1 dedicated striker. We have 2 other people that are flagged as possible strikers as well. They can also play attacking midfielders. We'll have to double check their stats. They may or may not be better at midfielding versus striking. Basically wing play versus strike play. We'll take a look at that. We've got 2 other people after that. We've got McCowan and Forrest, who are also potential sort of attacking midfielders, either on the wings or the center. So we've got sort of a, there's a fair number of forward-weighted people, right? With so many people who could play attacking midfielder. So literally from Tiffany all the way down to Melee, they could potentially play attacking midfielder kind of roles. So very sort of front-weighted that way, but not so much in terms of strikers. And so I think this is going to lead us to probably playing something sort of wide with attacking wingers. Possibly still with 2 strikers, though. I don't know what the game engine is like in FM 2020. I know in 19 and even 18, I think, it was quite strong to have a fairly high density of strikers. 2 and sometimes even 3 strikers was really, really effective in this engine, as opposed to previous iterations where it was all about crosses that were basically unstoppable. So we'll see how it goes. Craig Moore just dislikes the manager of Ayr. I don't know. I think at this point the manager of Ayr may not like Craig Moore. So we got 2 goalkeepers, which is fine, I suppose. And then we've got defenders. We've got a couple of people here. Well, again, Murdoch is basically doesn't exist. But we've got Ross Doherty, who could play a defensive midfielder, but since he's the only person, well, I guess Stephen Bell potentially has it. We'll have to check individual ratings. We could play with a defensive midfielder, but I don't think that's what we want. If we're going to be a little bit kind of front-weighted, I think we probably want to balance that out with a back line that's sort of 4 in the back. You know what I mean? 4-1-4-1 is interesting, Fuad. What we'll do is we'll take a look at a few tactics now and try to design things. Can I get this screen back? If I decide I don't want to use this. I don't know. Well, first of all, there is a button for sort of wing play, which I think is what we're going to look at. We're going to do this. So this is added, I don't remember if it's this version or the previous version, that they added sort of this, which sort of pre-writes some of the tactics with certain settings, which is very, very nice to have. You can still write your own from scratch, and that's totally okay. Tiki-taka, lower league, and suicide. Yeah. So let's just use this as just sort of an idea, just so that we can start sketching out some stuff and then see. Because it's like, yeah, wing kind of play is what we're looking for. So, of the suggested formations, and again, there's huge amount of flexibility here, but we're just using this as kind of a basic idea. I mean, 4-4-2, yeah, I don't really think, like, wingers back here, I don't know if we have a lot of people who would be good fits to that. We can check to see if we're running a standard sort of 4-4-2. This is one of the most vanilla but very effective formations. We can check to see if there's a possibility there, and it might. Then there's what they're calling the 4-1-4-1. So I guess 4, the 1 over here, these 4. So, I mean, it's basically, instead of the wingers being here, they're a little further forward, and then we've got that. And then I'm partially wondering about a 4-2-4 wide. This is actually maybe a little bit more what I'm thinking, rather than the 4-1-4-1. Now, we could, instead of a 4-1-4-1 like this, maybe we could have, like, rather than a defensive midfielder, we could just have another midfielder sort of proper here, and still play with something that looks like this. But I'm wondering if we might be able to pull off sort of paired strikers here. 4-1-4-1, almost like 4-3-3. Yeah, I mean, and some of the name conventions gets a little bit fuzzy. It's like, well, how do you really want to count that? It really depends a little bit about exactly where people are standing. What I want to do is I want to pick this for a second, because I want to see who we can put in the various roles and how that kind of feels for us. The striker situation should be, like, mostly fine. We've got some decent strikers. Michael Moffat. So Michael Moffat is a pure striker. He doesn't want to play anywhere else. If we do that, if we can take a look at him, you can see we can put him in other positions, but the only one that he feels super comfortable, like he's a natural as a striker, period. 34 years old, which is definitely getting up there for a striker. But, you know, we're not Premier League. Those are our requirements a little different. And honestly, he's got pretty good stats. He's very comfortable pressing forward. Okay, we should address something. The colored dots here are an actual statistical thing in terms of if they don't have, like, bright green here, natural, and they're in another position, they will feel uncomfortable and will be more likely to make mistakes. So there's that. The duty over here, or role over here, whatever you want to call it. I guess this is the role, and this would be more the duty. These colors are not the same. Unless something has changed. They don't have a stat like... Michael Moffat has a stat for how comfortable he is playing striker. But he doesn't have a stat for how comfortable he is playing target man. Instead, what this is the color of this is based on, okay, these are the stats that are probably most useful for this role, and this is how well he fits that. So just because, let's say, his color doesn't match at all for the trequartista, which I don't even know what it is, doesn't necessarily mean he would be garbage playing like that. Although it does give you a bit of a hint. Pressing forward involves a little bit more, it's almost defending play, right? Because when they have the ball, a pressing forward will go and try to harass the guy with the ball to reclaim some possession. And apparently he's feeling pretty comfortable with that. It does use, some of the strength, for example, and a little bit more emphasis for some of the off-the-ball kind of stuff. So, can you muscle your way into retaking stuff? It doesn't highlight tackling, which is interesting. I guess it's not quite the same as... does complete forward? Yeah, I was going to say, no, that's technique. There's a bit of a highlight on tackling when you go complete forward. So that might be this. Some people are having trouble for chat. 34 is old for anyone but a goalkeeper, really. Again, We're not in the Premier League, so we've got a little bit more space for excellence. But most likely, Moffat is not going to be improving any of his skills anymore. In fact, it's very likely that his skills are going to be decaying, but we can keep him around for a little bit. So, anyway, so we can have Moffat in here, and we can tweak it. We decide that we can switch him to a pressing forward or whatever. Right now, we'll kind of leave it a bit generic, and we'll work it out. Second striker, we've got more than a few. Let's take a look at Drinnen over here. So if we take a look at Drinnen, he is considered natural as a striker. He's also a natural on the right attacking sort of wing. So we got a couple possibilities there. So we can have Drinnen there or here, either way. Is there someone else that might go good as a striker? Well, if we're skipping over Drinnen, we get down to Tiffany over here, Tifoni. Let's take a look at him. Same sort of situation. Natural striker, natural on the right wing, very comfortable as a winger. So effectively, Tifoni and Drinnen are interchangeable in these two roles. There might be some slight preferences to some sub-variants of the roles. Like, they're both super comfortable being a winger. Is Drinnen maybe a little bit more comfortable in some of the striker roles? I would say he might be. I mean, advanced forward is just sort of your more generic sort of like, I'm moving forward to kind of score. I've had great success with pairs of advanced forwards over here. You can be more and it's fuzzy. Like, it just gives you a little bit of a hint, like, where they're going to stand. Some people might stand a little further back, might do other things. I guess since Moffat is actually so comfortable being a pressing forward, we can do that. We might still leave him on attack. That would be okay. And then they'll try slightly different actions that might be handy. I don't know. Let's take a look at this left wing situation over here. So, really, only Alan Forrest feels really good in this role. And specifically, because I was looking at this earlier, he would feel comfortable playing as an inside forward or inverted wingers. I don't really know. Yeah, so inside forward. Okay, so inverted winger, dribble more, cut inside with ball. Inside forward also has dribble more, cut inside with ball, but also takes more risks and crosses less often. Both of these are sort of the. So with a winger, you want your preferred foot to be on the same side as the pitch that you're on. So for Tifoni, he's comfortable on the right playing a winger. If we take a look at him, he should be right-footed, and he is, because you're going wide, you're holding on to that sort of outside line, and so that outside line's on your right, and you're using your right foot to sort of just keep the ball just off the line as you sort of push it up. With the inverted or inside, it's different because you're supposed to sort of Forrest here is going to cut in more and actually try to shoot. And then you want your opposite foot, because it works out really well if you're coming in from the left over here and you use your right foot to knock it into the net. So it's a little weird. So really, I think if you're playing inside or inverted, which 6 and 1/2 dozen the other, I don't know, inside, take risks. I think we put you on the attack. I think the winger over here, I think we'd actually pull you back on support. I think that's more the balance we'd want to do too. Oh yeah, the crossing as well is part of it, and that's one of the things with specifically with the inverted winger versus forward, or no, inside and forward, crosses left often. So the question is, how good is Forrest at crosses? It's an 8. I mean, in our league, that's not terrible, but it's certainly not double digits. So I think, and Forrest here is quite quick. He's tiny guy. Okay. He's not as tiny as we make fun of him for. He's 176 centimeters, so he's 5'11". So he's not short, but he does seem fairly tiny, and he's fairly quick. Again, for our league, a pace of 14 and acceleration of 13 is pretty darn good. So I think we're kind of happy with him sort of cutting in and doing stuff. Yeah, I do need a foot cam for this game. I know I'm like doing the actions. So I mean that kind of looks okay. The big problem is. We don't really have substitutions for Forrest. We'd get down to Kelly, who could maybe, he might have a bit of a substitution. The thing is, we're going to have a huge shortage of players, and we've disabled the first transfer window, so we are going to be really, really, really running on fumes here the first season. Belf Knight, hey! Sports ball, go team, score the points. Dude, we're going to score all the points, my friend, all the points. Oh, it's more like 5'7". Oh, okay. Yeah. Just under 5'10", more like 5'7", so people are having some weird mathy thing. The thing is, 176 seems taller than I thought he was. Alan Forrest height. 175.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
Yeah, I don't know. 175 meters in feet and inches is... Oh, it is! 5.74. So, yeah. That's not 7 inches, but yeah. It's about 5'10". 5'9", 5'10", somewhere around there. We should check our youth team. That's absolutely right. That's a great point. Ewan, whose army? Hey, by the way, I always like your username, man. That was really good. Realized I've been watching you for 8 years now, since SimCity 2012. SimCity was 2012. God damn, that was a long time ago. Jeez. Not been able to catch a stream for ages because of work, so I've made up with 3 in the last week. Also, Patrick Thistle in Ayers League is my local team. Enjoy Dram on me. Well, I will, but I'm going to hate on your team because you're the enemy. But thank you very much. That's awesome. Thank you. All right, so that's Forrest over here. We have a few midfielders available. So Kelly, who's also possibly the sub for Forrest, is actually really comfortable playing as a midfielder here. We've got a few different options. I don't know if we're going to use a playmaker in the middle. So if you have someone set as a playmaker, and there's a bunch of different positions that have a playmaker role, a playmaker will get passed to very often. So if we made Kelly a playmaker, the defenders would tend to pass to him, and then he would be responsible for sending the ball out. I feel like what we probably want more is something like this. Distribute to flanks and whatever. We don't really need to distribute to the playmaker. We just need to dump it to one of the flanks, I would say. So I don't think that's really what we're looking for. Box-to-box midfielder has a lot of roaming, a lot of moving around. It is the default. When we loaded up this 4-2-4 wide, it wants a box-to-box midfielder and then a ball-winning midfielder. Ball-winning midfielder mostly stands there and just tackles the crap out of people. So we might take Doherty for that, for example. Now, we could try some other roles in here. Honestly, just some generic central midfielders might work okay. But yeah, the playmaker, so this is a little further back, a little further forward. Roaming playmaker. I mean, maybe the box-to-box is okay. We'll have to see how we feel. I'm a little bit worried. Well, the problem is, whenever you play Football Manager, you always get the message that you're getting overrun in the midfield. But I'm actually worried that we might get overrun in the midfield. I think if anything, we have to go shopping for another midfielder. Because I don't like that we're a little bit low on choices here. I don't know. Definitely don't want an advanced midfielder in the center midfield. Maybe a deep line. Deep line might work. See, if we switched him to deep line, that's a great point, right? So, well, we can get information about the role. It does say take more risks, shoot less often. Like, he's there to pass and also hold position. He's not going to roam too much. Take more risks, I'm going to assume maybe means riskier passes. Now, how good is Kelly at doing passing? He's got a 15. Again, anything double digit we're gonna consider fairly good for this league. Once you get to 15, like, this is like, holy shit. I don't even know if we're gonna have anyone with any stat above a 15 on our team. We could double check. He's got great composure, good decision making, great vision, great teamwork, great technique, good first touch as well. First touch is how good you can sort of receive a pass. I think we are gonna use him as a playmaker. Yeah, good vision, good everything. He should be able to know. He should be able to look, assess what's going on, and realize exactly who he should give the ball to. He's 19 years old and has such great sort of mental game stats. That's good. Be nice if his anticipation was a little higher. But, yeah, this guy's a monster. Too bad we don't own him. He belongs to the Rangers. But we do have him for the season, when that's going to be good. Okay, I like that. I do feel that there needs to be a ball-winning midfielder over here. Which is a very, like, sort of defensive and aggressive role, right? Dribble left, shoot less often, hold position, tackle harder, right? As opposed to, we could just make him a generic central midfielder, which still has hold position, right? In a sense, it's fairly similar. Dribble less, so he really is not going to move. And you know what? I think that actually makes the most sense, because if he gets the ball, almost just give it to Kelly. Or maybe Tifoni is going to be nearby, just dump it to him, something like that. I don't know. No, man, you can't own people. Yes, I can. At least I can own their contract. Who's that? English Badger? It'd be better if you were a Scottish Badger. Just saying. I mean, we're Ayr United, man. No, thank you very much for that. That's awesome. Hey, Quill, been watching for a few years now. Really enjoy all your content, and thought it was time to contribute to the Whiskey and Chocolate Fund. Come on, Ayr! That's right. Oh man, I'm so goddamn excited to be playing this game again. I know some people are disappointed we're playing Master of Magic today, but I've been putting this off for like at least a week, if not two. I really wanted to get back into Football Manager, and I just couldn't say no today, so it was done. And Freddie, thank you as well. Hey, Quill, me and my dad have been watching your YouTube since your first Civ 5 videos in 2010. Wow. Recommended us countless games and given us hours of fun. Want to give you a small token of my appreciation. Thank you very much, Freddie and Freddie's dad. All right, let's finish sort of figuring out who might play various positions for us. So, on our defensive line, if we look at our right flank, Andy Geegan, a veteran of our team. Let's go take a look at Andy. He was one of my favorites in our original run. Did great work. We used to play him as a central midfielder, as a ball-winning midfielder specifically, if I recall correctly. And he's still very comfortable. He still would be a natural in this role, which means we could swap him and Doherty with a fair amount of comfort. If we take a look at this little pull-down list. Gigan here, but I mean, I think he would still do very well. But over the last couple of seasons, he has been shifting more to this right wing role, which I don't think was an option for him when we were playing him. But you know, every season they update the scouting information and things and comfort and whatever. So we've got him down over here, which is really nice. Let's consider what the specifics of this role will be in a second. Over on the left wing, we have Daniel Harvey. Now I was looking at this guy, 20 years old. The only thing he's really comfortable playing is the left defender over here. But he is set for it. You know, super comfortable in this role. Again, in terms of our league, this kind of pace and stamina is going to be quite nice for running up and down that left-hand side. 12 tackling. Again, if it's double digit, we're going to consider it pretty good in our league. 15 is like insane. 20 is actually the limit, by the way, if you don't know. 20 is how high any of these stats can go. So this is really, really good for us. He's actually contracted to us. He's still got some potential ability that might be left. And so that's lovely. Now, by default, whatever this was set up as, I think the right wing here was set up to attack, and this one was set to support, and then they do the opposite for the defensive line. But I think we want to change that, because it doesn't make sense to have both these guys going up on the attack. I think it makes more sense to have our left defender be a more sort of support operation. The wingbacks... Yeah, wingbacks are further... They go further forward than a fullback. Usually played out wide with no wing support. Although... Hold on. Maybe we still want that. What is Mickey saying? Are you saying what my thoughts are? You want the fullback pushing on the wing where you have the inside forward, otherwise you won't be able to stretch the defense and your inside forward won't have any space. Okay, I think, Mickey, okay. Let me back up. First... Banana Cabana! Thank you very much for the Whiskey and Chocolate Fund. I also started watching you since SimCity in 2012. Original SimCity was my first PC games back in the old days. I fell in love with the SimCity genre with the Super Nintendo version of SimCity, which only came out a little bit after the original SimCity for PC. And it's quite good. It's different, but really a lot of fun, and that's where I fell in love with builder games. I found your YouTube channel when the last one came out. Loving your work ever since then. Well, Banana, thank you very much for that. And yeah, SimCity 2012, for all of its flaws, made my channel, which was pretty great. Yeah, that's a good question. Should we find out what the Carolero role is? But if I'm following Mickey's thoughts, and assuming it's the same thoughts that I had, so Forrest here, he's going to want to cut inside a lot, right? He's actually going to spend a lot more of his time sort of here, as opposed to truly playing on the wings. So we might want to leave Harvey as an attacking wingback. So this means he's going to move forward a lot. You can see get further forward. He's also going to dribble more. He's going to carry the ball quite often. Now, how that's going to interact with the deep line playmaker, I don't know. Do we want to swap these two? Just because it might balance where we put the ball to. Like, it might make sense. If we keep the deep line playmaker on the left flank, the action's going to be very consistently on the left, which might be great. I mean, if we get the ball to Kelly and pass it to Forrest, or we give it to Harvey and he runs it up a bit, and then cross it into the middle. But I'm wondering if doing this might make sense, because almost, especially if we do fairly long passing, right? We get it to Kelly, and then he's got the option of a fairly short pass to Tiffany, who's going to be stuck to the side. And he can run it up the flank and then set up a nice cross. Or Kelly can send it on the other side of the pitch to Forrest, who's moving in a little bit, right? So from here, it's almost, I would picture, I mean, again, imagine, Forrest is going to spend a lot of times here. So if we get it to Kelly, he's got a triangle of either Tiffany or Forrest over here. I think I like this. Super Harvey runs it up a bit. Harvey's going to run it up a bitch. Exactly. Okay, maybe we do that. Geegan, we could go wingback or fullback. So fullback, he won't go quite as far forward, which actually I think is a good idea. Fullback sort of support. Because Tiffany's not going to move that far forward, so Geegan doesn't have to move that far forward either. And again, he can just get it over to Kelly. You agree with Harold. What did Harold say? You have no defense if you have only two midfielders, where one's a playmaker and two wingbacks. Your center backs are going to be left completely alone. I don't disagree. Bell and Muirhead are going to be responsible over here. I am a little bit worried that we're too attack-minded. Make your left central defender a covering. So cover will mean he's going to drop deeper. So he's going to hold back, right? Stopper, you move forward a little bit more. Cover, so this is like super defensive. I'm hanging back a lot. Yeah. Attack is the best mean defense. I still remember when I first started playing this, right? You get those formations, right? Like a 4-4-2. And because my only real exposure to any sport, being Canadian, is of course hockey. And in hockey, you have 5 dudes, well, 6 if you count the goalkeeper, right? But you have 5 dudes on the ice doing stuff. You have 3 forwards and 2 defenders. So I had always assumed, when I saw 4-4-2, I thought that meant, okay, 4 in the front, 4 in the middle, and 2 in the back, right? It's like, wait, what? Oh, that's not how this works at all? Oh, shit, okay. Got to reevaluate everything. I kind of like this a little. So this is one option. Could we drop a striker in the central attacking midfield to open up a space for our wingers? Right. So that's another question, is if we take one of these strikers and put him here instead. What I want to do, let me save. Whoops. 4-2-4 wide. So this, just saving my team selection. We're going to generate a new tactic. Which will still sort of default with the wing play, because I think it still makes a little bit of sense. And we'll start with, I don't know, whatever. We can start with like the same sort of setup, but then what we are going to do is we're going to take one of these and do something like that, and then just center you up. And then the question becomes, who might be good in this central attacking midfield role? Alan Forrest? Sure. Problem, Alan Forrest is the only one who can play on that left attacking wing. So then we take a look at more like Kelly. So instead of having Kelly in the central midfielder, we move up into maybe an attacking midfield role. The thing is, he'd still feel very comfortable as a playmaker. We know he's still got a lot of the vision, all kinds of stuff. We could have him attacking, but I think I kind of like the idea of the support kind of situation here. How good of a shooter is he? Finishing 9, yeah. So he's not that good necessarily finishing the job. But he's still really good in this support sort of kind of situation. So, would this be better than what we had before? It's basically the same. Except instead of 2 people right in here. I mean, remember that Forrest, again, especially if we reset him to like attacking inside forward, he's still going to cut in and participate a fair bit. What else could we do? I mean, out of curiosity, can we maintain just a 4-4-2 sort of wing play? I don't think these guys are as comfortable. Yeah, they're not comfortable being some of these center midfield wingers. So we really can't support that. I think this is our winner. I'm going to trash this, clear you, and clear you. I think this bad boy is exactly what we're looking for. Let me just make sure that I have... How do I reload the selection? Oh, it's this one right over here. Yeah, I named it wrong. Okay. Or I named it well, but I didn't realize that was the saved selection right over there. So that's not too shabby. It's fairly aggressive, but I think again, I don't have a lot of experience with the Football Manager 2020 game engine, but I think this is still going to be really strong. Oh yeah, it wouldn't hurt to have a keeper. You're right. Maybe we'll have a goaltender of some kind. Yeah. These red areas are predicted areas of a little bit of weakness, so we don't really have anyone there. But again, I think Forrest will spend a little bit more time there than we kind of think. And then it predicted a little weakness there because Harvey might spend a little bit of time too far forward. But Bell holding back is hopefully going to compensate for that. We will see. Don't think you set your right center defender. If you need a keeper, your defensive players aren't good enough. Nice. Oh, yeah. So, Doherty's, yeah, the Carrilero. So, Carrilero or Shuttler is a supporting role more often than not utilized as part of a midfield 3 or as two central midfielders in a diamond midfield. So, it's as if he goes wider. So, I guess this is almost like he's playing sort of between this and this. So, he's going to be positioned here, but he's going to routinely go a little bit wider. I don't think that's what we need. Look, if Muirhead is a better backward defender. I don't know what backward defender means. Oh, is that the cover? Yeah. No, he's not any more comfortable being a cover. He's happy being a stopper, but we don't want that because the stopper would move him more forward. So that's not what we're looking for. Or do we? Actually, maybe we do, because he can help support Kelly a little bit more. I'm a little bit worried that we're still going to end up being a little too far forward. Well, by default, Kelly was box-to-box instead of a deep-lying playmaker, which might still be better, because he'll roam a little bit more and fill in some of the gaps. But I'm kind of curious about this. I think we're going to give this a go. Forrest is cutting in ahead of Doherty, so having Doherty drift a little wider might be good. Perhaps. I'm just worried that if he goes wide, it might just leave the middle just way too open. We only have one person who's vaguely comfortable in the defensive midfielder position, and that's why we sort of discounted that option right away. I think... Oh, okay, technically 3 people have it flagged. It would be Bell and Doherty. But we don't have that many like central defenders that are good. I mean, we've got Sam Roscoe over here. Maybe he can take it. I don't know. Stopper covers central defense pairs. A history of leaving huge gaps in defense and Football Manager. See, that's what I seem to remember. Like, I think it's sort of realistic in real life, but I think it might leave a giant hole for people to run through. If you don't have a DM to cover for them. Okay, so this combination might be good if we have a defensive midfielder. Now, I could pull one of these guys back to that. I could still... Okay, let's say we create another copy of exactly the same thing we have going on. Just as a start, let me take a look at the whiskey and chalk in a second. What if we said, okay, you know what? Screw this. We're going to play with a defensive midfielder of some kind instead. Okay, Ross Doherty is really comfortable in that. Obviously, that'll need someone else over here. Well, Murdoch's injured, so we bring in Mealy. And then we center you up a little bit like this. And actually, I'm almost wondering if we turn you into sort of a more advanced playmaker. So he'll move up a little bit more to do stuff. What determines the numbers on their shirt? Is it their levels? Yeah, that's totally it. That's totally how it works. Hey, name Moose! With my antlers, I think I'd make a good goalkeeper. Yeah, although I wonder if that would hurt your headers. And yes, you're right. We don't need a ball-winning midfielder and a defensive midfielder. This might be a good way to just put the box-to-box midfielder back in. You know? He's really comfortable with that. I think there's a definite possibility. The only thing with the other one is that over the last couple of years in Football Manager, having two, or again, in fact, three strikers was ridiculously effective. What I like about this is how comfortable everyone is in their roles, which is really good. What other roles can Moffat play up front? I mean, so effectively, he is he's mostly just going to be a fast striker kind of thing, right? Advanced forward, poacher, even pressing forward. Yeah, pressing forward has hold up ball, which isn't really what we're looking for. Hold up ball means when he gets the ball, he's going to hold on to it for a little bit longer and maybe look for a passing opportunity. But really, we want him to just like shoot, score. So I think we'd leave him as an advanced forward over here. They fix the exploit is said to be. Maybe we will run this one. Well, tell you what, I'll leave both tactics in there. We can gain a little bit more familiarity. Usually it's better to, early on, maybe to just do one. The nice thing about this is that we use the same template. So we've got the sort of extra instructions are going to be exactly the same, so they can learn from that. If you take a look, so when we're in possession of the ball, it's going to be a lot of putting it on the left or the right, overlapping on the left and the right. Really, we're trying to work the wings as much as possible. Direct passes, so long passes as much as possible to just move it forward with the higher tempo as well. So I think this is a very counter play style, right? I don't know if we're good enough to necessarily be more expressive or anything. We may leave it there. If you've got a good team, being more expressive and running at the defense is really good because you can consistently get through people, but I don't think we're necessarily going to be able to do that. So transition, this is what happens when your position has been lost or won. So this would be when we get the ball, immediately counters. Everyone goes immediately on the attack and tries to do it. Run forward, and again, we're going to try to send long balls out towards them if we can. Counter press would be moving forward, but I don't think that's what we're looking for here. I think that's too hard. Out of possession, pull back a little bit, but more urgent pressing, which I like. I often like preventing short goal kick distribution. It might tire out our one striker a little too much, though. So I kind of like what it's set up over here for us. Your center backs probably don't need to be in coverage with the more defensive midfield. You'll give up too much ground. Center backs don't need to be in coverage. Coverage is more defensive. But I mean, these guys, it's not a ball-winning midfielder anymore. Box-to-box midfielder, so he'll roam around a lot. I mean, I guess the advanced playmaker might, stand around a little bit more. No, not really. Take more risks, shoot less often. So he's going to try riskier passes, but I think they'll perform. Hard to counter-press well at your level. Requires a really smart player to do it right. Yeah, I think that might be it. So, there's certain tactics. I'm always, you find it on the workshop or you find it in articles and you're like, oh my god, this is a god tactic. It'll win you everything. And you're like, yeah, but to do that, you need, 5-year players to have 20s in these key stats, and yeah. But if you do, then it's insane. Part of me thinks, well, if you do, aren't you just going to win anyway? I don't know. Hey, Bostwick, thank you very much. Loving the stream today, but I'm finding it even harder than usual to tell what lap of the race you're on. Oh, well, thanks for the continuing content anyway. Target man works better for counting. And, I mean, that's a good point. Well, people are going to be passing to Kelly a lot, so he's not going to be a striker target man. So hopefully it's on counterplay. You just send it forward. And again, I'm hoping these guys are all going to be fairly far forward and be ready to get a pass, even though they're not called a target man or anything. I'm hoping it's going to work. We're going to find out. We got a friendly coming up. Let's take a look at our schedule over here. So we're June 24th. So tomorrow we're going to be playing against a reserve team. We may want to look at who we can bring up, but I think I won't make any changes right now until we've got this done. After that, it's going to be a little over 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks before our first real match, which is going to be in the Betfred Cup over here against East Kilbride, who is, in a fairly low league. This should be a walkover. The biggest problem might be complacency. I'm thinking we might schedule one extra friendly in here so we can get a little bit more match preparation, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. So is there a friendly there? I think I'll give him a few days to recover, but we'll plan another friendly maybe on the Saturday, June 29th. And we have the training camp as well. Fix your right back to full back. Okay, we'll take a look. Friendly match. We're gonna go against an easy team is what we're looking for. We just want, like, very easy experience here. Armadale, Thistle. A fairly easy experience just to, you know, practice our tactics and everything like that. We don't really want to be challenged. It's also going to reduce the chance of an injury. So we're going to do something like that. And I think that's going to call it good enough. Let me double check the tactics. What were we saying? Should fix your right back to full back. Oh, yeah. Because he got reset to wing back. I think we're going to keep you on support. Actually, I'm thinking we might move you up a little bit more. No. Because, I mean, that's the wing back would be more full forward. So Geegan's going to hold back a little bit. I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference one way or the other. We will see. What else do we need to do? Well, we should look at our staff, actually, before we move any further. Because we don't have... It says one coach, but it's a generic coach, right? Oh, no, we have a goalkeeping coach. We don't have a fitness coach, and I think we would really, really, really like to find one. Miss and lose that match. I mean, it could be. I've lost against the reserve team before. That's happened. Nordics! Hey, thank you very much. 69 for 69 months. Nice. That's awesome. I'm happy. Happy everyone seems to be really hyped for this game today. I'm really, really pleased. I am worried about the left flank as well, Whippy. We're going to stop making tweaks to it right now. We're going to see how it feels when we actually play one or two friendlies and then look at making some adjustments. We're gonna take a look at that. But yeah, thank you very much for all your support today, everyone. It really makes a big difference. Very appreciated. So thank you. Fitness guy. Okay. So we'll set a search for someone who might want to be a fitness coach. So we'll just do that. And then the most important stat for a fitness coach, this may come as a slight surprise to you, is in fact the fitness coaching stat over here. So if we sort this, we can see everyone who would be interested in being a fitness coach. Ivan Torres here, he's currently wanted by another team. He's a free agent, so we don't have to pay a release clause. We could look at him. We could go all the way down to Hollyhead, who's got a 14 instead of a 15. It's pretty close. He's got some other things going on. A little bit better with youth. And we do have some younger players. I think in Football Manager, I think youth is 24 and under for the purpose of whether the stat has an impact. Might be 21 and under, but it would still, even on a primary team, we've got an 18, a 19, a 20. I think we might take Simon Hollyhead here. He might be slightly cheaper as well because he's not currently wanted by another club. Tom Heath? Well, he's got some other things, but we don't need him for a goalkeeping. I mean, he might be better than our current goalkeeping coach. We should double check that. Isn't Hollyhead the name of a Quidditch team? I think it is, right? Is it the all-female Irish team or something like that? Youth is 18 in this? Oh, okay. You think Tom Heath... Why would people think Tom Heath would be a better choice for a fitness coach? Because he's down to a 13 in fitness. I mean, he's great with the youths. Hollyhead Harpies, that's what it is. All-female Welsh team, that's what it is. I don't know. I feel like... what am I missing? Check their motivation. That's true, because that's not displayed over here. And high motivation is really good. A 9. I mean... Because, yeah. So I think motivation would be under mental, right? Yeah. So it's the same order we had before. So if we go down and take a look at Douglas, he's the first person that has a motivation of 10. His fitness is still 13. Might make him better. It's very difficult to know. I'm just going to grab this guy. We're going to approach him to sign. Whoa, he wants stupid amounts of money. We can only pay him £240 a week. And he came in asking for 900. Oh, that's for the under 18s as well? We want you to like a primary football coach over here. Yeah, no. So, not Hollyhead. Okay. So, everyone is saying Tom Heath would be a great pick, right? Yeah. I have to lock that in. I literally can't do anything else for you, buddy. I mean, I might be able to change some more finances, but not really. Oh, I can pay him more if he's not a youth person. Okay. Okay, there we go. Immediate, 2 years, 400. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and do this. Okay, 400 a week. We need a fitness coach. It's just way too important. We'll have to take a look at our finances in a second. So we have a goalkeeping, we have a fitness coach, or we will in a second. We do have room for one more coach, but I don't know if we need to worry about that quite so much. Recruitment team. We have a chief scout, but we have no other scouts. Probably worth hiring at least one more. At least one more. Again, our finances are rough. But let's see. So we're looking for a scout. And for that, we need some mental attributes. So judgeability. And the potential is good, too. So Jack Parker is currently unemployed. I think it'd be a great choice. Scout. I can only do part-time scouts. I think just because of the league and things like that. This is the contract you like. Let's try to bring down the potential pay. Bring it down again. There we go. We'll accept at 350. I mean, we could give people secondary jobs, yes, to mix things up, but then they're not as effective. Okay, so we got the scout. Let's take a look at the medical team situation. We have a head of physio, a chief doctor. We don't have someone with sports science. I think sports science does help to reduce injuries, so I think we need to hire... We'll just hire a head of sports science, and again, we'll have to reevaluate our finances at that point. But medical, sports scientist... medical attributes. So sports science is this trait over here. Only 12 is available. Not fantastic. Scouts are arguably the most important staff. They're pretty good. Let's approach this. No, you can be medical, head of sports science. 300, full-time. You want 400 because it's a better role. There we go, 350.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
Okay. That's good. We'll have to double-check some training thing and specifically set some extra roles. Make sure one of the players has skill to prevent nighttime ambushes. Because this is the same as Darkest Dungeon, right? Let me come back to that. Finances. What are we looking at? Our wage budget currently just under 15k, and we're spending about 14k. So we have a little bit of room over there. We have no transfer budget currently, but remember, we don't actually have a transfer window anyway. So it'll have to wait until later. In terms of scouting, we are going to let our chief scout make the decisions overall to start off with. I think mostly what we're looking for... We might want to set a job to look for a particular role. It's entirely possible. Darkest Football Dungeon Manager. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, well, we may be ready to just start advancing the game here. Yeah, we're going to lose Doherty at some point. We got some people theoretically coming in. Right, we could look at our younger squads. I guess you do it through the Dev Center now, right? Yeah. Okay. So our reserves squad over here. So we don't have anyone with tremendous ability in the reserves, although McKendy's got some really good potential. As a striker. Okay, well, we don't need you to be brought up yet. Defender left. We may need you as a backup because we only have one person who's really playing in that role. You are wanted by another club, by quite a few people, actually. You've got a lot of potential. Natural fitness of 17. That's insanely good. That is insanely good. Alright, I'm just going to advance. We're going to advance the friendly. Okay, they've accepted the friendly proposal. Training schedule got changed a bit because we have the extra match next week that they weren't expecting. Yeah, I mean, we'll be assigning the subs before we play. We can just, whoops. Here, quick pick. There you go. The unpicked positions. So he's just going to assign the subs so I don't have to drag things around. Code of conduct. So this is new in 2020, I think. So this is people who did something bad. What do we do with them? I'm going to go ahead and just stick with these defaults. That's going to be okay. But yeah, you can fine people if they get sent off. Done. Done. Finn Equipont, one of the best Scottish wonder kids in FM 2020. I'm always torn, you know, because when these things come out, people always go and search through, like, you know, they just run through the database and find, you know, all the best right away. And it's like, I really do like to find them organically. Oh! Sorry. This is literally the guy we're looking at. Oh. I didn't even note this guy's name. He is going to be really good. The thing is, we don't have the greatest training facilities, so he probably wouldn't develop properly with us. It might be a good one to, like, loan away somewhere for a little bit. Let him get skill at, like, somewhere and lots of play, and then skill up. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, people data mine all those things. You can just Google it and find lists of, like, here's all the people you should buy. Like, oh, so someone's already just solved the game? That's boring. Let's introduce ourselves to the squad. No. So we have to say hi to everyone. We're gonna be passionate. I know many of you have not heard of me, so I wanted to personally introduce myself as the new Ayr manager. People are responding well. I do have a really good man management, so that's gonna help. And Ross, who's our captain right now, says, "Welcome. It's what you do here that counts, so nobody will judge you based on your reputation." I have a reputation. Okay, mostly it's that I don't have a reputation. All right, now. Do we tell them we can make the playoffs this season? I don't think that's very realistic, and they're going to call me out on that. Our expectation is to finish mid-table. If we do this, some of the players might be like, well, I don't know if that's bold enough, but maybe. And then we could also say top half this season. Honestly, I'm really worried that if we get like one more injury, we're not going to be able to field a proper team. So I'm really concerned about saying this is just super unrealistic. Players like bloated expectations. You know what? We can finish top half this season. We have all of Twitch chat helping us out. Yeah, this is what I figured. So, some people are happy. I mean, Forrest, little Alan Forrest, 3 apples tall. He's like, yes, loves the ambition. And then a lot of the other players, including our captain, is like, are you fucking nuts? You know what? I don't think I'm being unrealistic at all. If everyone gives 100%, we can achieve what I said. I'm going to ruin everyone's morale before we go into all this. Just wait for it. Still think you're being overrealistic. All right, I'm going to calm down. You know, sort of overall reaction I was hoping for. I respect those who don't agree with me. All right, people like the code of conduct. That's great. All right, we'll be passionate again. Now it's in play, except, yeah, sure, whatever. All right. Overall, the moods are going to be okay. So, Moffat's actually our team leader. He's the most influential person in the senior squad over here. And then you can see other influential players. But overall, the dressing room atmosphere is good. I think a lot of them have been working together for a while. I think there's a lot of shared languages and things that are in this situation. So that's going to be all right for our dynamics over there. I mean, we can load up the dynamics and take another look. Team cohesion, slightly disappointed. Impact things. Dressing room atmosphere is good. This is just teamwork that we can work on a little bit more. And typically what I would do early on in the season is I would really focus the training heavily on sort of teamwork and cohesion kind of stuff. We could do a few tweaks here, but I'm going to assume that they're set up okay. Let's just keep moving forward. Give that Wonder Kid a new contract. What was his contract length? He has a contract until 2021. He's got a 2-year contract still. I don't think we have to change anything. All right, let's meet the media. So this is Jay Kelly, journalist for 442 publication. He's experienced. No relationship yet. We don't know each other at this time. What initial thoughts taking the Ayr job? Well, I'm going to be passionate about everything. I'm excited. It's a great club. I can't wait to get stuck in. Yep. Great. You today unveiled a new Ayr manager. As a big fan of the club, surely this must be a dream, because I did say that Ayr United is my favorite club in here. I've dreamt of this moment for years. What was it about the job in particular that appealed to you? I'd love to say this. I think their ambition is fantastic, but honestly, the team isn't the most ambitious, apparently. The majority of people don't think we can end in the top half. So I'm gonna dial it back a little bit. I'll be calm. I believe in their philosophies, and I feel this is the ideal place to take my career. No, I don't want to take my career to the next level. This is the level I want to be on. Personally, well, okay, we'll just say that. That's fine. Appears to us if you're more suited to a more cerebral approach to the game. Well, I mean, have you looked at me physically? Clearly, if I don't have a mental side to this game, I don't belong here at all. A suit and tie style of management rather than a tracksuit. Do you agree with this? Yeah, well, except for the fact that I'm not wearing a suit and tie here. But it is all the Ayr United kit, man. This is their old logo. They had to change it to the circle one, which I do have. I do have the circle hat as well, but for consistency with the shirt. You agree with me? Yes, we have a responsibility to act professionally at all times, and includes the manner in which we dress in public. Sure, that's fine. We were led to believe that you're much of an attack-minded coach. You got that right. Do you intend to factor in your day-to-day management? I like my teams to play attractive, attacking football. Goals are our most cherished footballing currency. We're going to score as many as we can. Guys, I have the secret strategy. We're going to try to score goals. Don't tell anyone. Escape from prison, right? It's a stripy shirt from prison. All right, done. Match preview. All right, so we're playing against our reserve team, who are using a different formation. I can probably enforce them to use a similar formation to us in practice, but let's not worry about it here. Of course, we have 2 people out. They're going to be... Murdoch's out for like 16 to 18 months or something crazy. Craig Moore's 3 to 4 months, so get used to that message. 0 tickets sold. Local friendly. No one even wanted to come out. That's actually kind of disappointing, to be honest, but fair enough. Sure. I don't think there's anything else we really need to do. Hey, Essentia. Alright, team composition. We're okay. Just benching the injured, obviously. And everyone else is going to be ready. What's IPR? Oh, player reaction. Happy that Aaron Presley is the new Scotland under-19s captain. Who's Aaron Presley? They're not on my team. Are they one of the lower ones? Aaron Presley. Brentford under 23s. Is this just someone you like? Is this is it your team that you're actually on? No, Rangers. Why do you give a shit about this guy? They play together on the national team. Oh, so they're both on the Scotland's under 19s national team, and he's happy about that. All right, well, whatever makes him pleased, I guess that's going to be okay. We'll submit the team. Yeah, we can proceed to the match. That's going to be okay. Now, the volume might get loud here. There hasn't been any sound so far, I know. But there might be sounds of, like, whistles and stuff. I don't have the game just muted, do I? Nope, I do not. So once the game starts, we should start seeing some action. So, yeah, we'll be quite curious as to see how this Ecropont guy does here. But mostly concerned about ours. Hopefully the structure is going to work out for us. We will see. Hey, Aku! Hour and 15 minutes to stream. 1 day has passed. Hey, it's amazing that we even got a match in on the first day. But I was trying to rush. All right, we're gonna have a little chat here. Listen, there, yeah, right here. Go out there, show me what you've got. There are places up for grabs. Impress me. You want to be a regular starter in this team? Don't F it up today. Mostly, I'm looking at Melee over here, who's really not feeling good morale-wise. All right, let's get some more specificals over here. Show me why you deserve a place on the team. It's still gonna be calm, but that's gonna be okay. We're really gonna try to like say, listen, I know it shouldn't be a hard match, but you still have to do well. All right, come on. Okay. Kick off. Let's play some footing balls. Let me just set this. We're going to go for extended highlights. Sounds good. I like to turn off the replays. I like it to be as fast as possible between highlights. And I often like to put it one notch over during the highlight stuff. So we're going to get slight fast forward action when we see some stuff happening. So we are in the white. The reserve team is in the red. But Moffat into Geegan. Oh my god, right into the middle to Forrest. But unfortunately, Forrest, being only 3 apples tall, could not get his hide on that. We're 2 seconds of the game. We've got a yellow card already. This is a friendly. Should I remind you guys? Come on, Kelly. Harvey. Oh. Ecroponte actually knocks it away there. on the other side. This kid defended really, really, really well there. Shorter passing game, maybe because of the rain. Right now we're going minutes and minutes and minutes without anything exciting going on. Okay, we got a quarter going on. So Tiffany, we didn't assign specific people to do corner duty. The game should default to people with relatively high stats for it. We will see. So Tiffany over here, the corner kick, centering it up. So Moffat is going for it, and that's Murphy on the other side. Moffat gets his head on, hits the top bar. Wait, no, Forrest was pushed. Forrest didn't have so we're gonna get a penalty kick. Okay, these have like a 95% chance of scoring, which means we're gonna miss this time. Muirhead takes the kick. Goalkeeper goes the wrong direction. Oh, they picked it up on the rebound. He just hit the post like a dumbass. Yeah, you know what? You can ease off on the tackles. It's going to be okay, Kelly. Kelly to Doherty, who's got actually really clear line. Ross Doherty delivering the goal point score. Was he outside the box, too? That was actually really good. Keep in mind, Ross Doherty is our right back defender. Or no, we centered him up, didn't we? I'm wrong here. I'm wrong. He's actually defensive midfielder over here in a support role. It's like, you know what? How about I just score some point goal home runs? Why not, right? Sure. Easy peasy. Man, no, Doherty's been a great player on this team for a long time. If you go back and watch the big franchise that I had running with Ayr United, you'll see, like, Doherty, he puts in the hours. Harvey! Look at this guy! Again, fairly fast for our league. He is set to wing back, so he's going to want to play fairly forward. He's playing on attack, so again, it's going to push him forward as much. He just burns by Forrest, like he's just standing there. He's like, I got this, gets the ball. Will he have time to get a cross going beforehand? Nope. Loses the ball. I don't think he ever really stabilized it completely. Moffat to Forrest to something. Oh, an offside. All right, kind of a moot thing. I said 95% chance to hit, so then he missed it. Oh, Tiffany turns the free kick into an insane goal. Big lob. You know what? Maybe I will put on the replays for the goals afterward. After all, I don't normally do it, but it might be worthwhile over here. 17 free kicking. Does he really? He got a foot like a tractor engine. Right. Big run up. Oh my god. So that's the thing. Forrest is pretty tiny, but he is speedy. Get it in front there, Moffat! I mean, great physical block by the other side. And we are going to get a corner out of it, but I'm actually super disappointed that was not a score. I don't know if we've got a lot of people who can win the heading game. We have not seemed to have great success in that thus far. So I don't know. So it's 3-0. We should beat our reserve team. It doesn't always happen, but we should beat our reserve team. Actually, in previous versions of the game, so what happens when your reserves are playing? You can actually have some of your people on your main squad participate in the reserve games. You know, especially if they're not getting made some play or whatever. You can cycle them out, keep them hot and warm. What used to happen is, so every time your reserves would play, you get a pop-up saying, "Hey, do you want to let any of your regulars join the reserves for this game?" And oftentimes it's really good to say that. But what would happen is you'd always start with this friendly match against your own reserves. You'd get the pop-up to have your main people play on the reserves, and then the match would, and you're like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, that's fine. And the match would start, all your main people would be on the reserve team, and then you would lose. And then morale would go down, and you'd be like, well, that's stupid. So here we didn't get prompted for that, so that's going to be okay. So we're 62% possession, not really a surprise there at all. 12-1 on shots. I mean, it is a drumming. What we need to do is we do need to try to keep everyone interested in this, because that's it. They're like, well, this is too easy. I'm going to become uninterested. So I'm going to try to be passionate, keep people pumped up over here. There you go. Assertive. You might be winning, but it could all change if your performance levels drop. Don't let that happen. All right, some people gaining focus a little bit more. That's good. All right, let's just go into the second one. That's going to be fine. We played for the wrong team and won. Now we're sad. If you don't win, just switch all the players between the main and reserve team. Dynalon with the strat moves. Although, you know, that kind of ruthless decision-making, Dynalon, This is what gets you, this is what leads to decisions to kick people off of Darkest Dungeon teams. I'm just saying, man. Focus is good, makes him less likely to crash. Motorsport Manager's leaking. Broadfoot there. Big diving catch from the corner. That's a reserve team goalkeeper, and that was pretty cool. All right, Andy Geegan, way back there. And he was he our captain in 2017? I feel like he might have been. I mean, he's not that old. I can't remember. Is he like 34 or something in here at this point? So he's not that old. I think he was about 30 maybe when we were playing it. But it still made him a slightly senior member. He had really good leadership. Everyone liked him. The dynamics modules weren't in the game at that point, but I feel like he might have been captain. Well, for us, I mean, in real life, Nicky Devlin was captain. But I think our first season, I think it might have been Geegan. Yeah, we are going to do some subs here. I guess it's friendly so we can do maximum subs, and we should probably just sub basically everyone to get everyone a little bit of stuff. In particular, the ones with the yellow cards, let's get them the hell out of there. So we'll put in Sam for Bell, or Roscoe for Bell. Take out Kelly. No one here really wants to be, so what we can do is, like, do some swaps. We'll put Gagan up front, and then all of a sudden, there we go. Houston here is going to be comfortable playing back there. Let's do at least one more for now. I don't know, maybe we just do them all. Like that. Tifoni with 2 goals. Let me save one in case something weird happens. But yeah, mostly we want everyone to have a little bit of playtime. And we're closing in on 15 minutes here. Yeah, even they just swapped the goalkeeper. We'll do the same thing. We'll do that, and then we'll bring Aaron here and to replace that. Okay. Now, I used to play quite a lot in the 2D Classic layout. And it might be worth doing this a little bit so that we get a bit of a physical sense as to where the movement is happening on the pitch. The 3D mode is really cool, but it might be a good idea right now to get a bit of a vibe. If we get another highlight, I could switch to comprehensive highlights. Maybe not full. Get a bit of a sense. Okay, ball just got kicked back into the field. We don't have that much time left, but we do have another friendly match that we may want to look at. So they have a free kick from their right side, so my left side. Yes, I think so. Because this must be my goalkeeper over here. All right. Hold that. Are we actually going to see some play? Because I think we're moving towards the right here because we swap. The camera angle change has me a little screwed up. All right, Muirhead. So over here we got Harvey and McCowan, who got subbed in I think for Forrest over here. But that's where normally what Forrest would be. Makes sense. Drinnen, one of our strikers there. All right. Muirhead tries to send it ahead. I don't know. Do we have the do we have pass into space? We do have pass into space, which is usually quite strong. We're going to have to think about whether we want this or not. So pass into space means we actually pass it beyond people and they have to run up and get it. It's usually very effective, but I think that was an example of somewhere where it wasn't. Now, it's not like Mackenzie. It's not like there wasn't anyone near Mackenzie. Where's my right here. Let's take a look at this. Mackenzie over here. We've got Roscoe and Muirhead nearby. Looks like Roscoe, who might be on the stop or recover, whichever one that's more advanced. I think he tried to grab it on the head. And then meanwhile, Muirhead's a little far to the side. So this is I'm a little concerned about. I'm not sure if having someone in that sort of more forward center defender position is going to work out. Because I think in Football Manager, it often runs a little bit badly. And yeah, a lot of it could be match fitness. That's part of the problem too, is trying to read into the situation here. A lot of people are going to make lots of mistakes and be terribly out of position because their match fitness level is low because we're just back from summer break. Sending it out to the flank over there to Tifoni, losing the position. I mean, the other side is also going to be lacking that. So both sides are going to have some positional problems. Harvey, with the defense there, moved in quite a bit. Game's about to end relatively soon. Houston to Melee. I don't remember. Do we currently have, on this particular version of things, we don't have a playmaker. No, Andy Gigan is the advanced playmaker. Okay. So right over here. So yeah, they're getting it to Geegan. He's going to make a decision. He's passing it forward to Drinnen, who's got that was actually a really good opportunity. I liked a lot about that play. He doesn't quite finish it. He did have a lot of pressure on him. He had to take that shot right away, but overall it felt pretty good. We're going to get a corner out of it. Defoney with a big curl on the corner. It is deflected away to McKenzie. And number 6, who it is? That's Andy Gigan trying to fight for it. Does not manage to take it away, but does hold him up fairly well. And now we're probably just in the last 30 seconds before the end of things. So you can see like the value in the 2D camera just to get a sense of the positioning. Beep, 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 beep. All right. Yeah, so then I scored the 1. A little disappointed that happened, but we'll be calm. You know what? I think I'm going to be a little... Okay, we'll have to set things up against better opposition. Some people got fired up. Some people lost confidence. Maybe it wasn't the right approach. But whatever. I'm going to commit to it. It's fine. All right, excited about new challenges. We hammer Ayr reserves. Mackenzie sparkles despite Ayr reserves. So, yeah, our reservist over here, Mackenzie. Someone else with fairly decent potential. Okay, all right. You want to play your Wonder Kid senior facility to pour another grow. I mean, he's playing regularly on the reserve squad. I think it would be a mistake to bring out to the primary squad because he's not as good currently as Harvey, and he plays in the same position as Harvey. So what do you do? He would end up sitting on the bench a lot. Whereas I think with our Wonder Kid being on the reserves, I'm hoping he gets a lot of play. Yeah, the 3D looks a lot more like a proper match. Turns out to be more cinematic and more interesting to look at for the video stuff. And a lot of other things. There's a lot of details you don't see from the 2D view. But the 2D view gives a sense of position. There used to be an overlay you could enable to see the pitch like layout and everyone on it in addition to the 3D. We'll see if we can turn that back on. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to recruit Jack Parker here. I'm pleased to have that. Okay, here, if you have any recommendations, that'd be good. Scouting report, that's on our opposition, which doesn't really matter in this case. And so, Ewan, who is head of sports scientist, yes, we'll grab you. And Heath, fitness coach, will grab you as well. I think we have to at least advance a day before you actually arrive. Yeah, there we go. Complete move, complete move. So now if we go back to training and we check our coaches and edit the assignments, we can rebalance this. Because, yeah, I don't know if you noticed, like, right before I hit that button, but myself as Quill 18, I was doing the coaching for a lot of the roles, and that increased workload decreases the quality that you get. So we do have an average workload here in tackle. I'm the only one doing it. There's also an average workload on strength, which is the fitness thing. But that's kind of okay. We're doubling up on tactics, which, I mean, I could turn this off, which would improve the possession tactical a little more, but degrade the attacking tactical. But I like attacking. I think this recommendation is fine. We can see that we actually... No, I mean, I think having better stopping is probably better than better handling here. But there's still some holes. I mean, we could probably improve our coaching situation a lot. But right now, I mostly just want to fill in some gaps that we had. And then we can look at actual replacements soon, especially as some of the contracts go. And yes, Heath was really good at the goalkeeping. If we turn this on... Oh, can you only do 2 at a time? Interesting. Maybe because he's a fitness coach, he's only allowed to do that category? But that's okay. Having good fitness is really important, and I'm okay with him focusing on this. I guess if he was a generic coach, he could do anything. So I'm assuming goalkeeping can only do those 2 categories. Yeah, that's it. So fitness coach can only do that. Goalkeeping can only do that. Regular coach can kind of do anything. I guess if we recruited you as a regular coach, we could have mixed it up a little bit. We do have an extra slot. We could go looking for another one. In which case... we could pick someone else who could help with some of the goalkeeping, with the handling. The other thing is, we're only at 1.5 stars for some of the defending categories. It might be nice to have a coach who's a good defending plus technical kind of thing. Let's consider that. Staff search. So we're just looking for a generic coach. And coaching attributes. And yeah, we're looking for fairly high defense and technical, not tactical. Adrian here, he wants to be assistant manager, so it might be a little harder to recruit him. It might be possible, and he's wanted by people at the same time. Mike Green, he's got the 12 defending, but really bad at the technical and tactical. What about this guy, Max Rag? He's got the 12 defense and the 12 technical. And yeah, Dr. Science brought up the same name here. I think this might be a good pickup. Yeah, he is wanted, so there's going to be more competition. But he's wanted by Leighton Orient and Chef Wed. I don't know what those teams are, so I'm assuming they're not terribly high-end. He did want more than we could pay him. Oh, the bigger teams playing in England. So, yeah, they're lower tier in England, but that higher tier than us. Like, if I suggested 500, yeah, like, I literally can't pay you anymore, so I'm sorry, we can't do that. Well, there's Scott McKenzie. He's still got the 12 defending. He's down to an 11 in technical. I can literally only pay you £500 a week, dude. That's the most I could do. I could... Here. If we win the Betfred Cup, which isn't going to happen, I'll totally give you more money. Yeah, no. I think we may have to give up on this, at least for now. I mean, we only have £800 a week left in our wage budget anyway, and our board has said we can only pay a coach $500. So, I don't know. On our coaching team, yeah, we don't have a generic coach. How do we get your stats? How do I get my stats? Because if I click on a coach, I get this managerial coaching. Oh, maybe there's a tab there. Tab is this. This is on overview profile. So if I go to myself, anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Actually, don't know. Attributes. Ah! Yeah, so of course, yeah, my defending is nothing. I got some technical, but that's it. We're not going to do that. But I was just curious as to, like, who else? I think our assistant manager can do some of it. His defense is a 7, his technical is low. Yeah, so as long as we got, say, even if we got someone who was like a 10 and a 10, that would be an improvement. Plus, he would be dedicated to only doing that. Here's an 11 and a 9. Oh, sorry, 11 is mental. 10 defending, 9 technical. I mean, I could set some other filters. Wayne Allison. He wants to be a manager, though. We might still be able to get it. He's got a 10 and a 10. How about Adam Faney here? 10 defense. Oh, no, 8 technical. David, you want something else. And you're wanted. Patrice. All right, 10 and 9. And you actually do want to be a coach. Full-time generic coach. There we go. And much cheaper than the other guys. I mean, and not that much of a difference in stats, really. And there may have been some other things I want to negotiate, but screw it, that's good enough. Okay. Let's get our second friendly out of the way. What happens if you go on holiday, you watch a team from cruise ship? Yeah, so it just advances time by itself for a while. If you feel like you've got everything really set up, you can go ahead and just do that. I mean, you know, people aren't going to be too impressed if you just, like, GG out. I think what I'm going to do is I will hit the rotated squad, full rotation, although there's not much is going to change, really. You're unhappy with team talks. Sorry, Kelly. And your transfer range, yeah, that's fine. Is that the Patrice Evra, Man United player? Evra reduced to coaching in Scotland? Wait, what? What? Champions League winner. Wait, what? 30-year-old, 80 So yeah, so as I say caps, that's how many times they played in an international match. So this is a big deal player. Premier Division. Oh. So this is a big deal player that is now going to be coach. He's going to be our defensive coach for Ayr United. They paid 5.5 million pounds. Man United paid for this guy at some point. Oh! I love it. Here, we should do a little save. See, that's a fun. It's a great thing we're streaming this because I have no clue who any of these people are, right? At all. I just know there's one guy who's like married to a Spice Girl. That's pretty much my extent of knowledge of footballers, or really any sport person. Period. All right, listen, team. We'll just be calm here. Just win. Just win. I don't know. Whatever. Go. Yes, I know his name is David Beckham. And there's like this Rooney guy who's not the old man actor, but he's a foot soccer ball player. Different Rooney. Wayne as opposed to Andy. Right? Wayne Rooney is the footballer. All right, so new match. We are in the white again. It's too loud, right? It's too loud? Oh, I don't think I can change it from here. Yeah, I don't know. No, it's good. Oh, okay. My own volumes might be a little bit high. So, picked up a knock. Wait, is that one of ours? Drinnen. Potential thigh injury. We cannot afford another actual injury. Now, he might recover. He might be fine. Or, Football Manager might crash you guys. It's a really unstable game sometimes. We're gonna see what happens after the match here. Yeah, it looks like a game for... I know, right? It's just, oh, these things happen. It's terrible. Yeah, maybe we'll sub them off right away and make sure there's nothing that kind of lingers here. All right, Moffat, go ahead. Now, it might be something he bounces back from anyway. Sometimes they get a knock and it's not, like, real and, like, they just sort of walk it off. And sometimes you come back, it's like, oh, he's going to be out for a couple of days with the bruise. Okay. And then sometimes it'll be like, all right, he's going to be out for the next 2 years. Subbed at 5 minutes. Hold the other, pulled the computer plug. I think this might be... The thing is, I mean, yes, the stories are good with injuries and stuff like that, adds drama. This actually might be, like, too crippling. If it turns out to be a long-lasting injury, this actually might be just too crippling for our team, and we'd probably have to alt F4. Magic Healing Mist. I do like that. That little spray bottle. The cooling stuff. The funny thing is, while obviously there is a lot of genuine diving that actually does happen in this, what I have come to finally realize is that we get kind of jaded with some of the stuff that happens, because a lot of what we're seeing is sort of in a slow-mo, like, replay, right? That's when you're actually seeing it, and it doesn't look so bad. But then, when, like, more and more times when I've, like, tried, like, watched a thing at, like, the real speed, I've realized that, okay, no, these are people running very fast and colliding very hard with each other. And in the moment, you feel a sharp bit of pain, and you're like, oh shit, is it bad? And then, like, oh no, okay, it's going away, it's going to be fine. You know, I've come to be a little bit less minded. Actually, the thing that sold it to me is I saw this one video, this is a long time ago at this point, of So there was someone who was kicking the ball at the goal. I don't remember if it was a free kick or just... I think it was just during regular play. So someone kicked the ball at the goal, and someone sort of got in the way of it. And it hit him... leg or arm. I don't remember what it is. And it snapped it. Whatever it was. It was like... I think it was the arm, and you just saw like... It just went. This is just someone who got hit by a ball that got kicked. And that's when I realized... Yeah, we're a little bit misled with some of the speeds at which things happen when we see the replays. There's still some really bad and obvious dives that happen, but I've become a little less cranky about things overall because I've started giving them a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt of, all right, maybe they impact us a little bit more than it looked like. Search for David Bust, Robert Carlos. Yeah, so someone in the chat will probably know what it is. NFL did something similar when they played the on-field sounds for a bit. They had to pull it because it was freaking viewers out. Turns out 300-pound guys sprinting each other sounds like a car crash. Yeah, I bet. All right, so we're 20 minutes into this, and no one has scored at all yet. Kelly's got a free kick into Roscoe's head, who sends it way over the net. That's not how you score the goal points, buddy. Big throw to McGowan. Moves it forward quite a bit. McGowan, one of our wingers. I think he's one of the people who plays on the left wing, actually. Him and Forrest, I think, are the sort of interchangeables. Moffat, one of our strikers, sends it back to Maley, who tries to send it forward to Moffat again. But it gets interrupted. Houston moving up the right flank. Sending it ahead. Oh! I mean, that ball was never in control, and so I'm not mad that they didn't score there, but holy crap. There was I think the other team just shat themselves at whatever just happened there. Just shat themselves. How much flopping makes it hard to take it serious. Yeah, and it does kill some of the flow a little bit. On the other hand, at the same time, I'm always like, they are running around here for, like, most of the guys are going to be running around here for the full 90 minutes, well, plus the extra time and things like that. Like, I can see why maybe they're not always in a hurry to get up. So yeah, I'm going to have plenty of times where I bitch about the flopping and whatnot, but I've become a little bit like, okay, as a general rule, I'm not going to shit on foot soccer ball anymore. As a general rule. How big is the crowd? Surprisingly, there are some people here. It's a friendly. I mean, I guess it's not an intramural friendly, so we actually have some people. I don't think there's no way to know... Is there a bouton I can hit at this point to know how many people are here today? It says it when you start up the match, how many tickets sold, but I don't know if there's a way to find out now. McCowan centers up to Forrest! Oh my god! Apparently, there's some sort of a weird gravitational effect that's going on this pitch here, because the balls keep going over the net instead of in the net. Houston with the throw-in. McCowan struggling to keep control. Okay, gets back to Houston. Might be Houston. I actually don't know how his name, like, A, how his family pronounces his name, and B, how generic Scottish people might pronounce his name. I don't know if they'd say Houston or Houston. Houston! It's pronounced haggis, which is delicious. Must be playing on the moon. If the net were 2 feet higher, you'd be up by 7. All right, Kelly with the corner. Directly into the hands of the goalkeeper, who didn't even have to jump. He just sort of did this. Thump. Yeah, weird magnetic effects. Everything will change in the second half, because we won't have to deal with the gravitational lensing. Moffat with some clarity. Oh! Sends it right into the goalkeeper. I mean... It took him a few moments, crucial moments, to gain control over the ball, at which point, basically the goalkeeper was directly in front of his face. Kelly with the corner, gets deflected out. Mali's going to grab control over it. He can probably center it up. Thank you, eventually. Doherty sends it back to Roscoe, who just sends it forward. Moffat gets it on his head, but that's never going to do anything. That was just the most gentle lob into the goalkeeper's hands once again. I gotta say, I don't think we're stressing Jardine out very much. It's very likely that we have quite a few shots. 9-2. I mean, nine's not bad, actually, at 36 minutes into over here. But I don't think any of those shots have been real, right? 5 on target. 1 clear-cut chance. I think they counted that one where he shot from here directly into the goalkeeper from 2 inches away. I think that may have been what they considered their clear shot. I don't know. A yellow card for Aaron McMahon on the other team. It's pronounced the way he said first. Houston. Oh no, he's saying Houston. Houston has been American. Well, yes and no. I mean, the city in Texas is Houston. Is it spelled the same? Does the city have an O? Or is this HU? Yeah, named after Sam Houston. Yeah, it's the same. Okay. I've never been there. I'd like to go. Actually, I really want to go to Austin. Austin sounds amazing. From this angle, it looked like that ball went outside, but... A free kick. McCowan is offside. Yeah, I haven't been there. I've been to, San Antonio. So I've been to Texas. We took a trip with the family, like, 15 years ago? I don't know. It was a long time. We spent at least a week, or we didn't know 2 weeks. Might have been a week, maybe 10 days. I don't know. Mostly in San Antonio, and then we rented a car. We went to we drove to a few different places. Finally, on the board, Kelly from the free kick. That's our second free kick goal in 2. It's a different person because I think it was Tiffany. I don't know how he wants his name to be said. That did the free kick, so that was all right. Only took 12 tries. The thing is, we really should be much further ahead here. I don't want to yell at people in the change room. It's only a friendly, but I think our players could afford to be slightly less friendly. Struggle for possession in the opposition's half. I mean, they might just be doing a really defensive kind of positioning and, you know, really just locking things out and getting in the way over there. Strikers are really good. I mean, that might be part of the issue as well. Try to encourage the team. Yeah, listen. I'll be assertive here. You know, I'm not happy with the performance out there. Maybe I need to be less mad. I'm disappointed with the quality of finishing, actually. You know what? I will be assertive about that. There you go. Seeming a little motivated, that's good. Everyone else be kind of calm. Just show me why you should be on the team. Defense, same sort of thing. Show me why you should be on the team. Okay, that helped a little bit. That helped a little bit. Look at that. Doherty with 93. Oh. I wanted the stats we were looking at. Oh, if I go players. Passes. Passes complete. But yeah, where's the percentage? Passes out of play. Because it should be... Anyway, because like Ross Doherty is doing hugely good with the passes. So... Passes complete 24. What's PRD? Passes received. Yeah. But Doherty's always been a solid player on our side. McGowan. Oh, there you go. Just barely keeps it in. Sends it back to Houston. Sends it back to McGowan, who was not really reading that correctly. McGowan, ooh, wasn't quite in a position he should have been. He does get tripped up there, so we're going to get a free kick. Kind of a rough angle to score, maybe. Although not that many defenders. Centers it up. Moffat with the header. There we go. See, all you need is a good halftime speech. Changes everything. 50 seconds into the second half. Wait. Oh. This is why I turn off replays. Because I'm like, oh, we just scored again. No, wait. That's not how this works. Disappointed with the finishing. You're talking about your players? The renovation crew for your club building. I have to say that we're not playing at Somerset Park right now, right? Actually, I don't know. No, I think we're playing away because we'd be listed. The second team listed here is where we're playing, right? Again, I don't know if there's a quick and easy way to find it. But Somerset Park does look a little rough. Again, it was built in 1888. I mean, it has been worked on a few times since then, but... Yelling is the best motivator, clearly. The yelling will continue until morale improves. It is at home. Okay, thank you. Names on top, you play at home. Okay. Because in other listings, in other places, like when you see an upcoming fixture, I'm not talking in the game, I'm just talking about it in general, you'll see this 2 teams, and the second team is usually the home one, right? Because it's like, so-and-so at so-and-so is the way I'm used to seeing it, but maybe not on the scoreboard here. All right, kind of a loosey-goosey corner, but we've got possession. Just dancing it back. Malley just gives the ball away completely. Although somewhere in there we somehow got another free kick. Bell with the header. But way, 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 way off target. One of the things we're going to have to take a look at, and we didn't so far, is actually try to get a sense as to people's sort of vertical game. Heading skill and jump ability. and as well as height, I suppose, and try to get some knowledge about that. If I recall correctly, in our amazing, extended run that we did earlier for Ayr United for, I think, Football Manager 2017, we had, I don't even remember his name anymore. It was so-and-so, the golden-haired or golden-headed. It was someone that we'd actually recruited specifically, and he was like 6'4", with like a jumping of like 18 or something like that. He was amazing. Really, really good. He was great on the defense. I gotta say, that's kind of a lame-looking goal. I mean, the corner from Kelly is great, and then Doherty gets his head on it, and then just sort of like casually rolls past 3 opponent players, and just like bumps off the top of our foot here. Honestly, actually, I don't know what the other people could have done to stop it. The deflection was like super casual, but I mean, goalkeeper was out of position. But what is he going to do? Goalkeeper had to be in position to block the header from Doherty. So Doherty just goes, oh, I'll just send it over to your side. Boop. Roll it in. Excellent. Actually, on replay, that looked much better than my initial interpretation of the situation. All right, we're 60 minutes in. I think we'll do some more subs here. McGowan. Did you see what that did? He hits the top bar. Boom. Hits the side bar. Hits the line down here. At any point, Chaos Theory should have turned that into a goal, but it's fine. I mean, we're up 3-0. That's nice. I mean, these people who are sort of complacent and things like that, we might prioritize them, but really it's just like Muirhead. We'll I don't know. We'll just pick someone that's going to be okay. Here, we'll sub the goalkeeper as well. Tafoni, let's get you in here and replace, whomever. And Andy. Yeah, we'll just do the full subs. We'll do something like this. Still half an hour left. If there's an injury, it could be awkward. But it's a friendly, so who cares, right? Win or lose. And what country are you playing? Well, me physically, I'm in Canada, but this is a Scottish team, Ayr United, from the county of Ayrshire, which is on the west coast, or the southwest of Glasgow, about 45 minutes or so by train. And it's a really lovely place. Kelly with the corner. It's deflected away poorly. I gotta say, the opponent's handling of that corner was unbelievably bad, and I would be very upset if that were us. But again, this is a much lower league team, so we would sort of expect this. Kelly bring it up, trying to cross it into the middle. I mean, I don't know what defines a cross as opposed to just a pass, necessarily. I think cross is mostly just like, whoa! The idea is like, from outside the box into inside the box. I don't know if there's an official definition beyond that. And Moffat knocks it in there, 4-0. Favorite hockey team? So, I mean, I occasionally I do get on hockey watching sprees, especially, during the playoffs or something like that. But I don't really have a dedicated favorite, generally speaking. What I have is a heuristic. So in any given hockey game, there's the 2 teams, right? I gotta bring the sound down a little bit. Here's the 2 teams. And since I don't have a hardcore established favorite, here's what I say. First of all, if one team is from somewhere where it actually snows, and the other team is from somewhere where it doesn't snow, I root for the team with the snow. Because it's goddamn hockey! Come on! If there's a Canadian team versus an American team, generally I'll go for the Canadian team. And then a lot of it comes down to age at that point. If we're talking about an original 6 team versus anyone else, I'm usually in favor of the original 6 team. And then when you get down to the very nitty-gritty, let's say you're in a situation where it's Toronto versus Montreal. Well, then I have to go to my French-Canadian roots and heritage and, of course, go for Montreal at that point. That's my heuristic. So in a sense, if you were to do some big sort of playoff structure to determine who I would vote for in any given situation, you'd ultimately end up with the Habs, Montreal being the team I root for. But it's not like they're specifically my favorite. They just win my heuristics. The nearest hockey team to Ayr is called Glasgow Clan. Neat. Yeah, yes, that's right. So I'm a Habs fan. Not really, but... Of my, of the original 6, it's definitely, Toronto, Montreal, and Boston are the ones I'm sort of most into. Especially, growing up, there's a massive rivalry with, there's always a massive rivalry between, Montreal and Toronto. And mostly, if there's Montreal versus Toronto, I'd be into watching it just because the drama's going to be high. But also, growing up, there was a lot of, like, Boston at the time. The Bruins were, like, an insanely sick team. I don't know how they are these days. I don't know anything about hockey, really. But so that's still pretty high. And Boston's a kick-ass city. So, you know, they tend to rate fairly highly on the heuristic as well, despite not being Canadian. But it snows there, and they're an original 6 team, so that's gotta count for a lot. Can't like both Bruins and Habs. Again, if they were playing against each other, I'd root for the Habs. Mostly, I appreciate the drama of it, right? Like, if we're talking about Scottish foot soccer ball, I mean, the old firm, right? It is pronounced Celtics for the foot soccer ball team, right? The Celtics versus the Rangers. I mean, you can't get more drama llama than that. Bruins were number 1 in the league before the shutdown. Oh, damn. Does Bobby Orr still play for them? No, I know this. Yes, the Celtics are also a basketball team. Yes, the Boston Celtics. But yeah, the Rangers and the Celtics are both from Glasgow, right? I'm remembering this correctly. They're both from Glasgow. And historically, the Celtics were more associated with, like, Catholics, and the Rangers were more associated with Protestants. So there was, like, a whole extra level of drama llama, unhealthy level of drama llama from that. I don't know if that's still, like, an active issue or not. I mean, Scotland isn't Ireland, but I think some of that still kind of comes into play. My foot soccer ball preferences are fairly simple. If Bayern München are playing, I root for the other team. It's just Celtic, not Celtics. Ah. The basketball team is Celtics, right? But the foot soccer ball is just Celtic? Okay. Definitely still an issue. All right. Which is why I wouldn't, open my mouth about it. If I were just hanging out in Glasgow, talking to some rando in some pub, I would be very careful about what I said. That's for sure. Calling Rangers the Rangers, big no-no. There's a history behind it. Really? Oh. There you go. It's funny how so many sports team names have funny things like that. Like, for example, the hockey team from Toronto is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not the Maple Leaves. The Maple Leafs. Because reasons. Hey, full time, 4-0. I know we didn't really focus on this game so much because, I mean, it was probably going to be an auto win. All right, this injury. I'm so happy. Aaron Drinnen here, out for 1 day. 1 day. With a tight hamstring. Thank you so much. Oh, hat trick from Moffat. One of which was a penalty. Yeah, hat trick from Moffat. Box-to-box midfielder Stephen Kelly gave Ayr the lead. Free kick in the upper corner. That's right. That opened everything up. Yeah, so in the 45th minute, we get one, and then, so right at the end of the first half, and then right at the start of the second half. Boom, boom. One error. Bum, 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 bum. So yeah, again, we were expecting a complete raffle stomp here. So at this point, one of the things we can do... Oh, it's going to be hard with the zoom factor. If I scrunch this down... There we go. This info here, the last 5 games rating, is very, very handy to find out, well, first of all, who's doing well and who's doing poorly in general. Just because someone's doing poorly doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad. It might be that they're just in a slightly wrong position, or, and this is probably more accurate, is wherever they are, your tactic as a whole isn't using them very well. Now, only 5 games is not much of a sample size. I'm happy no one's down like a 6. McCowan is, the low man on the totem pole at a 6.6 in this winger role. I mean, he only started the one time because that's normally, I was going to say that's normally Forrest's role, but that's incorrect. I'm on the wrong flank over here. No, yeah, McCowan is actually the starter on that right wing. Now, being in a support role, I mean, he's not, those ratings go up a lot if, say, you score, right? but completing passes, especially if a pass leads to an assist, which to a certain extent McCowan should be able to engineer, should raise those up. So those haven't come up. Maybe it's a sign of something. Maybe it's not. We can look at it to a little bit more. 4 goals and 28 shots is fine. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, our actual scoring percentages was like sick on all this. Because again, we should raffle stomp that team. Our first actual match against East Kilbride here should theoretically also be a raffle stomp, because they're just in the Lowlands League, which I don't even think is actually simulated in here. So they're just like full just temporary placeholders. So that should be fine. It's going to be an away match, which leads to a little bit more stress and lower performance for our players, but it should be fine. Falkirk would be substantially more interesting. I'm used to thinking of them as an opponent on my level. In fact, a fairly good one, because when we were playing before, we were in League One. Ayr United was in League One, so Falkirk, we were in that league, and we're sort of struggling in that situation. Here, we're Championship League, and theoretically, we should be ahead of them. It's not really a surprise. I know the Lowlands League over here, and then Motherwell. So this is where it gets a little tricky. Motherwell Premiership. So this is our group. We will probably theoretically get stomped by Motherwell, but might be able to do decently otherwise. In terms of our competitions and what's expected, this is the Betfred Cup, right? Yeah. We are expected to simply be competitive. Now, I don't know what that means exactly. I'm assuming if we advance to at least one round, that's going to have done that. So hopefully, 3-1 finish will be more than enough to move forward. If we end up going 2-2, I don't know if that'd send us forward. Probably not. We'd have to check the format of this cup, but I don't think. I think it's I think this is set up so that the top person in each group advances, and then in addition to that, there's a certain number of wildcard spots for your overall points and as a tiebreaker. Rules? Yeah, there we go. So if we end up first in our group, we advance to the second round. And then after that, sixteen teams are going to be in the second round. So how many teams are in the starting situation? 40. How many groups, though? Well, presumably there's 5 per group. Or 5 people per group, so that means there are 8 groups. So the top of each group advances. The second place has a good chance of advancing, but I don't think it's guaranteed. Be competitive sounds like try not to embarrass yourself too much. Exactly, right? So I think there's a really good chance we can advance to the second round, if I'm reading this vaguely correctly, and I don't know. And of course, there's always a chance, hey, Viking Raiders! Well, you come in just at the end of the raid, but we're actually about to do another raid after this to A Kiss for Luck, who should be streaming. Let me just double check her channel here to make sure that is indeed the case. Oh, she's playing Green Hell again. Gorgeous game. Stresses me out to watch. Like, first-person survival in the jungle kind of game. It's crazy. I can't believe she likes it so much because it seems so tense to me. But we're going to be doing a raid there, so please stick around because it's an awesome game, and A Kiss for Luck deserves lots and lots of love. But yeah, so even assuming Motherwell finishes top in our group, because presumably they'll beat everyone and have a good chance of beating us, there's still a good chance we can go on to the second round, which I think I'd be perfectly fine and happy with, and I think, in fact, my chairman would be perfectly fine and happy with there overall. And then after that, we just start our regular league play over here, starting with Partick. I always want to say Patrick Thistle, so then I remember there's an R first, but then I usually leave the second R anyway, so it becomes Partick as opposed to Partick. Anyway, so Doherty, who we love, is already set to be transferred to him after this season, which breaks my heart, both in real life and in this game, but, what can you do? I don't think we can cancel that transfer at this point, because we just sort of inherited it. I could have just not used the latest, most up-to-date database, because most likely, Doherty's transfer to Hello, this is Patrick, most likely happened during, the January transfer window or something like that, IRL. So we wouldn't have necessarily come up here, but that's going to be fine. Just play him into the ground. Wow, gambling sponsors a lot in Scotland. I mean, that's sort of true everywhere. But yeah, because I think Betfred is one of these, electronic betting places. Ladbrokes definitely is. And let me tell you something. If you were opening a gambling franchise. You know, a gambling company where you're going to open these little gambling places all over the place. You can go in there, you can place bets on various sports. You might have little fruit machines and things like that. Slot machines is what we call them in North America. But fruit machines if you're in the ook. Why would you call yourself Ladbrokes? Isn't that a little too on the nose? I'm assuming it's like someone's last name or something like that. But like, come here, lads, and become broke. Maybe the Scots don't realize it because they don't use the word broke. They use skint? Is that the Scottish word for like being broke when you're out of money? Skint? Something like that. Someone will chat. I'll know. I'm just waiting for the chat lag to come up. Yeah, skint. Yes, excellent. Lad got no money. Yeah, I remember someone using the word skint for the first time. Like, what's a skint? Is that something for a lizard? No, that's a skink. I was like, I don't know what that means. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. If you submit a gambling ad for a European customer via Google, they get mad despite being illegal. Skint's more British than Scottish. Use it in Wales. I mean, I don't know. All I can tell you is that people in Ayrshire have used that word at me. More than once. So I think it varies. Betfred is a better surname for... Yeah, I like that, Betfred. They just have a mascot called Fred, who bets. It's Betfred. Makes beautiful sense to me. I don't know. Never knew skint as in Britishism. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you asked 100 people in North America if they knew the word skint, out of 100 people, I'd actually be surprised if one knew. I'd never, ever heard it before, definitely, personally, until I was over in the Scottish lands. So I don't know. You're the one? Hey, Norway! I still haven't been to Norway, and it really upsets me. Because, I mean, I love Sweden, I love Denmark. I'm pining for the fjords. I need an excuse to go to Norway, of course. Not that anyone can travel right now, anyway. And on that cheery note, we're going to wrap up the stream, folks. Part of me wonders if we might just do more of this on Wednesday. I still want to play Master Magic. I still want to play RimWorld. Because actually, last Wednesday's RimWorld, I really enjoyed. Because we mostly didn't play on high speed. And it was like less stressy. It felt really good, but... I don't know. In any ways, next live stream is going to be on Wednesday. It'll either be RimWorld or more of this. For now, let's go raid a Kiss for Luck. And yeah, thank you everyone who subbed, followed, contributed Whiskey and Chocolate Fund, all the birthday wishes. My birthday is in 4 days, and that is very appreciated. And we'll see you in a couple of days, folks. Let's go raid a Kiss for Luck. And refresh, because my UI doesn't... I don't know why. I start the raid pop-up doesn't pop up on my end until I actually refresh the page. But it's the same thing, my stats don't work either until I refresh the page, so I don't know. There's just something going on with Twitch there. Alright, let's go! Raid. And the Viking raid. We're doubling up on the raids here.